Hello, here we go again with an exciting game on Foxxy where white won on time this time, but actually on territory white it's quite okay because of killing all these mark stones, which are 32 stones, so 64 points just the captures plus the surrounding territory. White has more than 100 points and Komi. Besides, there's a little Agi on the right side, so let's say black plays away some kind of supposed to be center move, but white can ignore and throw in here Atari again, and capture everything. So white can even save those dead stones on the right side, which were not even supposed to be captured in the first place. We will get there soon. So let's check the game from the beginning. Parallel Fuseki, then black plays R13, which is a little bit questionable. The move is loose and it doesn't really protect the corner against a sun evasion. If white goes here directly, it's easy to leave unconditionally. So black can block R16 or Q17, and in either case, white will leave. So Hane, Nobi, push again and push one more time, and this will be a life in center. Then black has a wall, the extension is very close to his own thickness, and here white can just play a move like R6, or well, white can do the same, R7, but it's not necessary, just to prevent black's expansion on the right side. But if black blocks the other way, white leaves too. So push, Hane, cut one time, Hane again, connect, and then defend again. This kind of sequence we will see in this R3 corner, but then it's black sun evasion. Anyway, white doesn't have to play anything right now, but if white wants to live in the corner, it's either R17 or attach Q17. And for black, it's pretty big to play E3 or E4. So he should worry about preventing the Shimari here instead of making his own corner enclosure. Anyway, white attacks the top left corner, that's good. Can be E17 as well. I think nowadays, if you have to choose between E17 and E16, like probably 90% of the time, people will go for the low approach. But okay, nothing wrong to play the high approach. So here we expect black to attach under, pull back, and then just settle the group in the top, and later think about the sun evasion. So black played an interesting pincer far away instead of the Titan one space low pincer. But yeah, sometimes people, and also the pros, you see sometimes they play this H17, but not too often. So white went with Keima to put pressure, that's good. Now black plays Kosumitsuke. Well, usually here, if black wants to fight, he needs to cut Keima at the waist, then go for a crosscut like this. White can extend up or to the right, and then a very messy fight will start, with black either playing like this or push. Because if black defends the corner now, white just has the ladder. So black has to prevent this ladder. Either push like this, maybe several times, and then Hane to try to catch the top stones, or simply defend the corner, in which case white will come out, and then we have a very complicated running fight right from the beginning. So black played the Kosumitsuke, white blocks, then Hane, then Atari. This Atari, it's a bit questionable because it ruins some other options. For example, if white plays a double Hane here, that's more interesting because when you play the double Hane, if black cuts and tries to capture the stone on the left side, first of all you go down, and then instead of using Atari from D16, when black tries to capture, you will use Atari at B14. So now black needs to connect. This gives white more liberties. Then you cut like this, and you have two options to continue. One is to play Atari and go out, because this will set up either a ladder or a catch. So there are two ways to survive here. I mean, if black comes out like this, you just ladder the 3 stones. And of course, if black blocks, you do the same thing, ladder, he will try to connect under, but this is just too painful for black. So again, we see white didn't really need to have a stone at D16. Now there's another combination here. After black goes out, you can play Tsuji B11. So now when black comes out, you cover, then black needs to extend again to save those stones, and then Atari. And now when black plays B15, you capture 2 stones, and there is no more connection underneath. Therefore, black has a problem with the group in the corner and another weak heavy group on the side. So that's why it's better to think about this double Hane instead of Atari, because there are more interesting options coming up. So when black plays a Hane without any Atari, you just connect, he will extend, then you attach in the corner, Hane, you can play a vital point to see whether he connects solid, or this prepares an interesting double Atari cut, so black will connect C15, then you pull back, and he has to do the same. So now you got a pretty strong wall, and you can counter pincer. And in the same time, black is pretty low. He's got stones on the second line. After the Atari, he might build a territory on the third line, like it happened in the game. But even this Atari is not that terrible, because white can continue with a Hane in the corner. There are some interesting variations with that too. But once again, consider double Hane. So that's a much more powerful move for white here. So once you play Atari, it's big to play the Hane in the corner. Because here, if black plays Atari to catch this stone on the outside, you can just connect and there's still a cutting point. So he still has to go back to play the Hane in the corner. Because if he just plays, for example, a move like this, you go down and you feel good to take away the corner because black is somewhat over-concentrated on the left side. Besides, this stone, the pincer, it feels a little bit too close to white's wall, so black needs to react here too and make an extension to secure the base in the top. So when you play Hane in the corner, normally black will Hane also, but then you can follow up with a double Hane on the left side, and now there are some interesting and forced variations too. So first of all, he can play Atari and try to catch this stone, but you always descend and sacrifice both, because once you descend, there are more liberties and black has to work harder to capture 2 stones than 1. So he needs to play here, and this gives white more forcing moves. So for example, white can play a double Hane in the corner, black will go Atari here, and then if black captures the cornerstone somehow, it's either Atari B or A18, B19 or A18, then it's a problem because white will use this as bait and capture the stones on the left side. Therefore, black is not going to capture that stone, but just connected B16. And now you already gain a little profit in the corner, but these 2 stones being on the board on the left side, you can play Atari, Atari, and Atari from the outside to make a stronger wall, or just play one direct Atari here, or play a Keima, which is also threatening to capture that stone, so black will answer like this. And after that, you can capture the cornerstone either this way, or just leave it for now and go for a counter pincer. So black's territory, it's kind of small on the left side, white got the wall, and this stone in the top is still in trouble. So that Hane in the corner, it's a nice combination to start with. Hane once, then on this move, Hane again. If black plays Atari and he tries to capture the top stones, for example, he plays in the corner here. Before you turn, you can think about the Hane to give him more, to play all these forcing moves and give black a heavy shape first. Then when you connect, he can have the 2 stones because they are really not that big. Now, if black wants to capture right away on this Hane, he just takes, then you go Atari, throw in, Atari again, and now you protect. And the shape is super painful for black in the corner, and he even needs another move to connect to the outside. So this is how you can fight, using trying to use the Dametsumari technique, and I mean the Shibori, to squeeze him and make him low. So Hane in the corner. Okay, Nobi, then black pushes again, Nobi again. Black can actually push one more time, or even jump, and then he doesn't have to worry about C17 anymore, but he has to use his H17. So in this case, it's interesting to jump out, because when white covers here, black has a peep, so the wall is not that powerful anymore. His corner is fine, because he's stretched enough on the third line, and now maybe he can just play a big point. So this is a way for him to make use of his H17. Jump it's possible too, and then you either cap or Keima, or think about the pincer like in the game. But yeah, black defends the corner. Now this is a bit slack, and this is kind of losing the power of H17, especially when you separate. But right now, it's very big to turn on the left side, C12. This is a powerful formation, Magari, because in the top you don't have so much to do anymore, because even if you pincer now, like this, and I think it happened in the game, black has the option to connect underneath, turn or jump. So right now, it's more interesting to take the profit or the influence on the left side. So we have a pincer, then black counter pincers, but this still leaves the invasion in the corner, so it doesn't help black much. Black should think about the jump, then when white extends towards the corner, black can block p17, and now his corner is much safer and also put some pressure on the white stones. And when white jumps, black can peep, then jump along, or eventually connect underneath. So now white has to do something with the wall on the left side, and it's still big to turn. So pincer, pincer, jump out. That's natural, but this jump doesn't do much. If black wants to secure this corner, should be q17, r17, because it's a symmetrical position, or r16. Playing a jump here doesn't do much because this jump is kind of neutralized by a white jump, and white can still jump in the corner, invade later the sun and leave. Well, it's going to be a co-fight, but still white can damage that corner. This is pretty big, separates h17, so it made more sense for black right now to play f18. If white wants to separate, black will clamp and then connect underneath. And now white has to cover to keep the stones connected, and black can jump here to make sure white doesn't turn for the left side moyo. So black played a slow move like this. Now white blocks, that's very big. Then black jumps. Now there are some cuts in the top left corner, so instead of jump, black should actually play Keima here. The way white can use the cuts, it's to push. So this move r11 is not necessary because you can still invade the corner r17 without this approach. If you look all over the board, it's nice to play r6 and from r6 extend again to r9. Or it's big to play j3. But in order to punish black on the left side in the corner, you can push here once. Then you can cut in the corner to see whether he plays Atari from here or resist. And black, I think he will resist because he doesn't want to give too much profit there. Then you go down. Always descend to the second line and then sacrifice both. He will answer here. And now you cut on the outside. This is... Actually, no, you can cut inside, sorry. Because if black captures a stone, you don't care. That's just bait. You will play Atari from the outside and then set up the ladder. So already, for giving up a couple of stones in the corner, but just sacrifice because black also played inside, you get a very nice thickness on the outside, capturing that stone in a ladder. And now, if black resists, this is the sneaky combination. If black defends b11, so he doesn't want to give the stone in the ladder on the outside, you just turn once at b16. And he cannot block. If he blocks, you kill everything. So he needs to play b14. And because the liberties are taken, you can honey in the corner. So now there is a shortage of liberties, and black can't win this semi. So you honey. If black plays here, white will connect. Then black needs to capture the stone in order to approach. White plays the honey, and now black has to go down, and white will capture the 4 stones faster. So this is a way for white to use those cuts in the corner. So cut here, go down, push here, inside cut, then turn. And it's a disaster in the corner. Then when you inside cut, black has to capture Atari from the outside and take the stone. But you can also play cut, go down, push, outside cut. Because now, maybe you bait your opponent to capture this stone, and then you go Atari, turn, and kill the corner. So either way, it's fine for white, to capture the corner or to capture the stone on the outside. But it's very important to be aware that those cutting points leave a lot of agi in the corner, and white can get some profit there. So now we have the approach at r11, which is a little bit tricky because black is kind of strong in that area with those 4 stones, except that he still has agi in the corner, and when you play a move like this, he can counter pincer. But he actually double up, and this double up is strange because it still leaves the agi at r17. If he wants to secure the corner, should be r16 or r15. But r15 makes r13 look a little bit over concentrated, so in this case r16, then of course white will extend back, like it happened in the game. Yeah, this was good. So now black turns here. Now the agi, it's a little bit gone on the left side. White jumps. Actually for white it's proper to jump h14, because this cut is not a problem. You can just capture the stone. No wait, there's a better way. Atari here, Atari, and jump. And they are captured. If he plays like this, Atari, Atari again, and net. So you don't have to rely on the ladder. Because if you play the ladder this way, he will play some ladder breaker here and you need another move. So it works to play Atari, Atari, and lose net. Because if he plays like this, like this, like this, it's just crane nest formation. So the thing is, when you play a move like this Keima, it will surround h17 and also protects against those cuts. But if you play this kind of move, there is still some agi in the top. Of course, now if you kill the stone on a larger scale like this, it's much nicer, but we will see later. Yeah, black is trying to use the stone in the top somehow. But in fact, even if he plays this move, you can attach. When he hane, you go down. When he plays here, you cut in the top or you cut in the middle. And when he goes this way, you just connect with the bamboo and there is no more connection underneath. But playing the tsuke here, he pushed and then you cover so he can try the hane under. But well, if white plays this move, he might push, then you block, Atari escape. Yeah, he's actually dying in the top. Well, this sequence was good for black because he's giving up 2 stones and keeps sente, and now it's a bit more difficult to invade the corner. Because being so strong in the top, when you try an invasion here, he can play this way, and when you push, he will go to the second line. When you go down, you play second line again, you play like this, he pulls back, and when you block, this is an L shape, so he's dead as it stands. Black can even kill on a larger scale. So yeah, no more Sansan evasion. But yeah, black had to play a big point, this is fine. So we have the 1 space low tight pincer here, that's good. Then cut. Actually here white can play hane and then the tiger mount. Black usually will go Kosumi because the idea of this Kosumi is to put pressure on the left with a key point or to put pressure on the bottom. But this left side can leave even if white goes, if black goes c6. So you can just extend on the bottom to continue setting up the moyo here, allow your opponent put some pressure, you push several times, because anyway, his formation here with those stones just meeting each other in the middle, they are going to be like 10 points or even less. But you leave very comfortable in the corner and you also make the moyo on the bottom. So you can actually play the basic Joseki. Because when you cut like this, he's going to build a much bigger left side. He's supposed to play the wedge, then you need to play Atari, then capture the bottom, then take this stone, then Atari connect. So all of a sudden, he's got all this left side. But in the meantime, white develops very nice on the bottom. The thing is, black is center now, so he can come inside and then extend for a base. So this would be a basic Joseki, but black started with Atari here, and now this changes everything. The position will end up much better for white. Then he's giving up the stone, he goes down, that's good. Then he wedges, and here white doesn't have to play under. This is a very polite way to keep the bottom, but it works to play Atari up and then capture the stone. Because once you take the stones in the corner, in order to save his bottom stones, he needs to Atari here, then maybe he'll play another Atari because he's going to lose the 2 stones anyway. He captures the bottom stone and then you catch 2 more on the left. And when he plays Atari here, you block with a snapback, he needs to Nobi, you can push again, he needs to Nobi. Then the left side is very small because this Hane, he can only go Nobi and answer everything. So all of a sudden, he builds only these points on the left side and you got a large corner. You lose this stone, but that's not a problem because now you're center and you can approach all the way here. So he's still pretty much under attack. So this means white will also build a nice bottom side. So that's more fighting spirit to Atari from above. When you Atari below, he connects and then you gotta catch the 2 stones. He can push 1 time and his left side is much bigger. He can Tsuke Nobi and build a much bigger box on the left. But let's see how, yeah, he played the attach. Yeah, he should push here 1 time. Because for white, it's also very big to push g4, and that happened. So Hane, very good. This pip, it's not necessary. It's a bit dangerous. You better push. He blocks, you push again. He blocks, you push again. He goes straight, and another move, and now just secure the bottom side. Because even if he builds 10 extra points here, you're going to be like 20 or 30 on the bottom. So it's worth it to lean on the back, on the left stones in order to build the bottom area larger. So playing a pip like this is just saying, okay, you're going to build too much on the left side, so how about I jump in? But it can be very dangerous because if he plays the cap and then you cut and then he jumps and then you push and then he Nobi and you try to go out and he covers and he kills all, he will build this area bigger than before, but you don't get the wall to build the bottom side as in the previous variation. So it can be risky, but black just connected, white jumps out, push, no B is good, then he pushes again and you jump out again. So you got away with murder here. If he plays a peep, you need to connect, and then he can play a cap move. So he can press the group a little more. Then this cut can be a problem. And then keep pushing and try to surround the group in a net. Because for him, if you get some kind of combination here to go out, there's always the jump on the left side like this or like this to connect his group, and you're trapped inside. But okay, black just pushed, white jumps, and all of a sudden it's good for white. White can block here, e7. Because when black no B, you connect, and then he needs to go back and defend on the left side. Well, this was kind of similar. So that's good. It's a nice strategy to play c7. And the cut is good too. Lots of problems for black, and now you catch 3 stones. Yeah, this was a success, but the peep was kind of overplayed and it got unpunished. So in the end, the result was excellent for white. So let's move on to the interesting part of the game, the right side. This variation, it's all forced. Very well played by both. Then Hane, yeah, nice. Normally here white will end up the Joseki with another capture, Atari, or this kind of net. But in this case, white is strong because white has the extension Atari 11. So it's very good to play the Hane here and try to expand the bottom area. And black obviously invades, he's desperate. You don't have to try to cover because there is still a lot of agi when q5 can move out. So it's more interesting to play an attach at s9. Now usually when you attach, your opponent will just capture a stone. So he might play s8, then you cut, he takes a stone, then Atari from behind, push again, he will connect under. He can also play this move to cut. And the problem is, he needs to play lots of moves inside. And in fact, it doesn't even work here because you have this one and Atari. But yeah, in this case, he needs to connect under. And well, the corner is safe. You can only try this move and descend and throw in and Atari again, but that's just endgame. And then if you look on the outside, you have such a tremendous thickness. You can play, for example, O-gamer here. Then when he tries to move out from the stone, like this, you just double up. If he plays Hane, you cut. Or, yeah, and build everything on the bottom, like it happened in the game. So playing this Kosumi was a little bit dangerous, but in fact, it still worked fine. Well, black should go out here first and see how white reacts, because if white adds another move like this, black has the Kosumi and then the jump, and it's troublesome for the bottom side. When you play here, he will Hane. When you play here, he can play a hanging connection, so your Moyo disappears. But he tried to push and fight right away, then those stones got captured. And here you can even let him go away. Yeah, you don't have to try to go for the kill. Capture this stone in a net, he needs to connect under, either like this or maybe like this. But it doesn't really matter how he connects. Actually it does, because if he connects here, you don't get all those forcing moves. But now, let's see, push, yeah, you gotta take this stone. And when he pushes here, you go out. So you try to keep this wall safe and nothing dies on the right side. Then you still win big. So compared to the game, white builds the same kind of points in the middle, but doesn't lose anything on the right side. And here, instead of Atari and set up a ladder, it's still more interesting to play the net. It's true black has this push, that's quite annoying, and then the no-B here, in which case white has to catch those 2 stones. No time to answer like this. You gotta play Keima. Then he plays here, you play here. But now, having another stone in the middle, it's easier to fight. You can Hane, Atari, and catch them. So it's okay. This will set up the ladder, but it's working. Yeah, it's working for now. Anyway, black can push here once instant, which he did. Ah, and now he's coming out. So let's see. You gotta no-B still. Because if he comes out here, you have this Keima. When he pushes and cuts, you just capture the stones. But if you take this guy, then he will come out and it becomes dangerous for the right side. And everything is because of trying to be ambitious with S12. Of course, if you kill the group on the right side, it's fine, but the liberties are a problem here. Yeah, so now white is trying to make more liberties. In order to do that, white should play Kosumi here. So the ladders are not a problem in this case, but black will play this one, threatening a net, then you got a turn, then he will jump, trying to kill the group on the right side. Then you can play another Kosumi to make more liberties. And instead of jump on the right, it's good to play the vital point. So just go for the kill. When he plays here, you Hane. When he plays Atari, you connect. And now he's got only 3 liberties left. If he tries this one, you separate. No connection underneath. When he plays here, you connect. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's fine. He dies faster on the right side. And then you save the group by killing the group on the right side. So now the jump. This already gives black some eye shape. Yeah. So now you gotta give those stones on the right. That's expensive. But the way, yeah, and the life in the corner can be a nice compensation. But it's not that easy, huh? Tuck, tuck. Oh wait, that would work. This. Ah, black has problems now. Some problems. Yeah, if he plays the wedge, you go Atari. When he plays here, you capture. When he plays here, you're alive already. Wow, and you can even play this one. He needs to leave and then save the group. So yeah, some compensation can happen in the corner, but you gotta connect solid. Because like this, he cuts. Then when you connect, he captures the 2 stones in the top. But the way he should capture, it's this one or this one. In fact, in this case, it's better Q17. And now you can try Kosumitsuke to go for a snapback situation and then this kind of net. But let's see how this works. So he's got Atari, you need to connect. He can push, you cut, he plays Atari here. And now we have a ko, because if you connect, he just goes Atari, and the ko is like this. You must take this stone. So for the ko, what are the threats? Locally, this one, threatening a snapback, connect, take back. But he can play a local one here. Not sure he wants that though. Tuck, tuck, and then take back. Yeah, then Hane block, take back. Really difficult call. Push one time. Yeah. And then when Atari here, Atari from behind and go out. Not too bad. Still a lot to read there. Complex variation. So Hane. Okay, then it seems white kind of give up the fight on the right. But this jump is good. It creates some agi. And actually, this Kema would be nice. Because what happens, this Kema is setting up a combination at N11. So black needs a bamboo connection. If black plays something to reduce the middle, or let's say black just cuts here to make sure no ko and stuff like that, white has the wedge, Atari, Atari from behind, and keep going with the ladder. And boom, kill everything. So now white escapes again. Yeah, black noticed there is some agi here. Oh, this block is very big. Still keeps the combination running. Okay, these cuts were good. And cut. Very nice. Is this move really necessary? White should go up, because it still wants to play the throw-in. So when black tries to catch something here, white has Atari, 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 and catch. I think this is the theme of this particular game, that combination to escape. And now, of course, black tried some desperate moves inside, and he collapsed. Here it's more interesting for white to play Atari. Black goes down, then you block, even if he goes Atari on the first line, because he takes away liberty, he turns, and then you Hane or you jump, and everything is captured very cleanly. And it's still good to take away the liberty, because never know when you get into a semi with the bottom stones. So this way, push Nobi, this is fine, take that stone, and now, yeah, it's time for this squeeze. Oh, actually not yet, sorry. You gotta protect here first. Yeah, that's coming. Good to capture those stones. Block, it's fine. Yeah, this one, very good. Atari. Yeah, instead of this connection, you better take the stone here. If black connects, you play here. If he cuts, you just go down. Nothing happens. All the stones are connected in this area. And there's nothing black can try. He needs to go back and protect the right side. So the idea is somehow to take center. And now it's interesting to capture this guy. Because if he connects the stone on the bottom, it's not really threatening anything. You're fine already. You're connected on the right side. So again, you can go for this. If he plays here, you capture a stone and he's in damage Sumari. So when he connects like this, you take everything. Because here he can take this guy, then this one, then this one. He connects here. But in the end, you still do the squeeze. Yeah, no matter what, you gotta come back to squeeze and capture those guys. Even this move you can ignore, because when he captures a stone, it's false. So now throw in, perfect timing. He takes here, it doesn't matter. Still not enough space for ice. And you can even play away now. Maybe enter in the center some more. But now anyway, black lost on time and he was losing on the board as well. Spectacular game and interesting tactics to go over. So enjoy the review and win more convincing next time.